So it's been almost an hour now since I painted the white slip on, and I dragged the tool through a few more times horizontally. Now there's a clear contrast between the white slip and the iron bearing clay body underneath. When you scratch through one thing into another thing and you expose that contrast, that's called Sgraffito. Remember I said you can leave all those sharp burrs. If you try to smear those off there when it's wet, it makes it really messy. But now you can see that it's dry, and if I just barely touch that, it just falls away. See that? So that pretty clean, that little bone dry piece just falls right off. So timing, you know, you don't want to try to fix everything when it's wet. You gotta wait. So now that mark has all of the expressiveness that it had when it was wet, and then I was able to clean it up and it still looks very fluid. I could even come back another time and hit those, like this plate for example. Some of this stuff, when I made it, you don't want to take it all away, you gotta leave some of that, it's pretty cool. But the things that look fragile and brittle, you can just bust those off. So the interesting thing about applying the white slip, you know, like this is still really soft. It was applied on something wet. This was applied on leather, so I was able to like smear and bulge that circle out and cut through the white. Remember the thick white on the bone dry? I was saying how I thought it might crack. Check out those awesome cracks right there. So that edge is much thicker than the stroke as it tapers. So the thicker it is on bone dry, the more dramatic these cracks will be. And once I noticed that, I went straight to these plates. You can see this thick slip right there, and this thin slip over here. Not cracking where it's thin, it is cracking where it's thick. So then I just basically poured it in here while this bowl was on the wheel, and that wheel was turning slowly while I brushed that thick slip layer after layer. So 1 hour later, it looks like a dried mud pit in the bottom of a lake bed or something. But it'll be a pretty sweet contrast between like a really clean edge on the rim and this real crackled inside. But the glaze is going to fill all those cracks. It'll still be a functioning dish. And all of this cool stuff makes me think now that I can put white slip on here and make this look pretty cool. You're also interrupting my video. So I'm gonna clean this up a little bit and put some white on it. So if I was gonna paint something like that, notice how a lot of these things can just fall right off. So I don't want to brush over that until I clean up some of those edges.